one word has changed the way I think about the world. It makes me less irritable, more grateful, and happier overall. The word even helped me lose over 140 pounds of weight since 2017. But most importantly, it helped me maintain my tranquility whilst people kept standing up and blocking my view during the Euro semi-finals at Wembley. Keep watching to see what the word is. If it's your first time here, I'm Sam, the Stoic teacher. I'm a philosophy and theology graduate from the University of Cambridge, and I now have the pleasure of teaching philosophy and religious studies in South London. Now today, we're going to be talking about something called the festival mindset. Number one, we're going to talk about what the festival mindset is, and number two, we're going to talk about a practical application of it, and we're going to end with a final lesson from Marcus Aurelius that ties it all together. So let's get going. I came across this idea when I was listening to the Good Fortune podcast by Matt Van Natter, a link below I really recommend. Matt Van Natter talks about the fact that he loves reading on bar stools. So he would go to a noisy bar and he would sit and he would read. And what he talks about one story where he was at a bar and he's reading his book. And then there's some really obnoxious people to his left being really noisy, and he just can't focus on his book at all, and he's just, when you're just reading the same page over and over again. And he says that that's what happened. He kind of starts tutting, the kind of thing we do when we get annoyed about people making noise. This, that, and the other. And the barman comes over to him and he says, just mentions as an aside, he says, those guys are celebrating an engagement he proposed to her. And immediately Matt Van Natter was then able to read his book because the story that he was telling himself changed. He no longer felt that they were being obnoxious or trying to cause a disturbance, and he genuinely sat and in the same noise was able to read. This was him applying the Stoic teaching from Epictetus on the festival. And what he now says is that he actually says the word festival to himself anytime he finds himself in a similar situation, and he's able to get on with things. And he advised me to do that, and I was very skeptical at first. And actually, I found it to be a really powerful tool. It comes from this Epictetus quote that you can see on the screen, where essentially Epictetus tells us when we're in a crowd not to view it as noise or something malicious, but to simply say the word festival and be content. So now we'll move on to how I was able to apply this. I was actually fortunate enough to have a ticket to go to the Euro 2020 semi-finals and see Italy versus Spain at Wembley Stadium, and it was unbelievable. As I was watching, there was this lady in front of me who every single time something happened on the football pitch, she would stand up. Anyone that's gone to a football pitch, or soccer for our Americans, anyone that's gone to live football knows that, of course, when there's an exciting moment, everyone stands up together for like a goal. But the problem I was having is that the lady directly in front of me stood up for pretty much anything. If the ball trickled off the pitch to the side, it was standing up. And I found myself getting really frustrated. I was thinking, I've paid £300 for this ticket and I'm not even going to be able to watch the match.
Excuse me, can we get this guy to sit down? Oh, there we go. Lovely. Thanks.
And my tranquility was disturbed, and then I paused for a second and I remembered what Matt Van Natter said and what Epictetus teaches us, and I just said the word festival to myself. And initially I was very skeptical about this 4 years ago when I first started doing it, but it genuinely worked, and I was able to view it through another lens. I saw actually the passion. She was watching her team, Spain, about to get knocked out of the Euros, and she was just so stressed. And the thing is, if I wanted a clear view of the pitch, I could have stayed at home and watched it for free. The reason I went to the stadium is because I wanted the atmosphere and the experience that you guys have been able to see in the kind of footage that I'm showing on this. And I'm going to sit there and moan. Epictetus says, why would you go to a stadium with the view that, no one's going to bump into me at all? There's 60,000 people in that stadium. And of course someone's going to bump into you. Accept it and adopt the festival mindset. And indeed, apply this to places where you're not in a stadium as well. And so that is the Stoic festival mindset. A final lesson from Marcus Aurelius on this, number 3. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The judgment that Matt Van Natter made about those people being obnoxious, choosing to be obnoxious and making noise, is what led to him not being able to read and to him feeling disturbed. The moment that he reframed it, he was able to read fine. It was the same thing with me. I wasn't enjoying the match whilst the lady kept getting up in front of me, but the moment I was able to reframe it and view it through the prism of her passion for the football match, I was absolutely fine. And so I want you to give this a go. Say the word festival to yourself and see if it doesn't help. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you're interested in more Stoic strategies, I talk about this specific one in depth in my Skillshare class with Ali Abdal, link below for free access. And you can see the video above for some more Stoic techniques that you can apply today. In any case, I'll see you next week for some more ancient wisdom for modern times. Bye now.